Hello, hello, hello. Come on in the room. As I always say, best friends, come one, come all. Look at my winter hat. Come one, come all. Come big, come small. Come on in the room. As you guys come in the room, say hi to me. I'll say hi to you. I'm balled up on the couch. Super comfortable this Friday night. Come on in, best friends. Come on in. Come on in. I know you guys have probably been looking for me all day. I've been so busy. I have been doing a host of things. But before I get into all of that, let me say this. For those of you guys who have no idea who I am or where you found yourself, shame on you. I am Candy Sincerity Johnson. This is the digital space and the digital place that I have carved out alongside my family, where we document our journey of just imperfection with life. Okay. This is the journey of our life, our love, our family, the building up of everything, including marriage, kids, etc. And then the, essentially the disassembling of it all and us just figuring it out as co-parents. So myself, my business partner, and ex-wife Sean Johnson. You often see us over here together and apart sometime. But I'm Candy, she's Sean, and welcome to what we have affectionately coined the Johnson Family Network. Hey, Miss Jaretha, happy Fridays. Miss Sylvia, Vanessa, Tammy, Charlotte, and the host of others that have come in the building. Hey. Shout out to everybody who's on the live, and shout out to everybody who will catch this video as a replay. Listen, I am bundled up. I got on a sweater and I'm under the blanket. I'm downstairs on the couch and just chilling, doing me, girl. Look, everything is blue. The sweater blue, the hat blue, the blanket blue. But best friends, I think I titled the video something like, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. I have no idea where this conversation is going to go. I don't know. Sometimes what I do is I'll just push the button and I'll just purge and I'll just let the conversation go wherever the conversation is supposed to go. And this is one of those times. I feel like for a little bit of time, for maybe a month or more, I just kind of been walking around just carrying some stuff. And I haven't really said anything. And I think in me carrying everything, it's been out of respect for all parties involved. You guys know for the past 8 months or so, I've been, in a dating relationship with T. You guys have grown to know her and, all of the things. And we've spent a lot of time together and, we've spent a lot of time together and, you guys have gotten to know her in a number of ways. For those of you guys who are familiar with the platform, she's not new to my life. This is somebody that I've known for a number of years in different aspects, right? But out of respect for her and the fact that she didn't sign up for social media and she's very private, I made the decision to not share a lot of, our personal business. And I don't know how much I'm going to share today. However, we've been going through some ups and downs. Not to suggest that it's anything different than what I expected going into the relationship. Anytime you get back with an ex or somebody that you dated from the past, there's going to be the warm and fuzzies in the beginning, but quickly you guys are going to get to the nucleus of what the breakdown was before. And I think we entered each other's lives, or we re-entered each other's lives during a time where neither one of us was looking for anything. She had just lost her parents. My father had just passed away last February. Sean and I had just went through a horrible breakup. I was in the rebuilding. I was still in the devastation of everything that happened with Sean and I. And I was just trying to figure it all out. So when we reconnected, because we were out of communication for a long, long time, but when we reconnected, it was me showing back up for her as a support system. And then we started spending more time together, and then the rest was history. So there was a lot of aspects of how my life is laid out that is much different than how her life is laid out. You know, Sean and I have a lot of overlap, right? There's the businesses, there's the kids, there's a lot going on. So for anybody, it would be a lot to come into. Yes, I was transparent about everything. Yes, you know, all of the things, right? But it became a situation where it's almost like what I tell you guys all the time. Two things can be true. So her and I would spend time together, but yet and still, Sean and I are building online brands. So whereas most people work 9 to 5, Sean and I don't work 9 to 5. Sean and I work, for lack of a better comparison, 24/7. All of the content that you see that we post, even if it's a reel or a snippet or a picture or us being live, we're working around the clock. And so oftentimes it leaves very little time, outside of the kids, outside of everything else. It leaves very little time to build something with somebody. You know, when you're dating a content creator or you're dating somebody who's trying to build a brand or build a company, it's very time intensive. So I found myself, even when we were together, still on the phone, filming or, you know, working on stuff for the business or, you know, whatever. So oftentimes my attention was divided. So for a while it was okay. And it was always, you know, whatever. But I think over the course of time, the concern became, you know, you got a lot of competing priorities. And, you know, I'm 40, she's 38. Yes, I want to get married again. Yes, I'm open to and would love to have more children. But I've been married before and I have 2 children already. So someone who's 38 and someone who's 40 and us being very similar in age, in a lot of ways and in a lot of aspects of our life, we're in different places. So it became a situation where, you know, in the short term and in the long term, are we in alignment, right? Are we in alignment, or is what you want and need more time sensitive than what I want to need, right? You know, you want to be married. You want to have children. You know, you want to do all those things. I want to do all those things too, but my timeline and your timeline, is everything in alignment, right? Does my lifestyle as it stands right now, does it allow for us to build and really create the foundation that, you know, would be fertile soil for us to get to the next level? What does the next level look like? You know, all of those things. So we started to unpack those things and we started to have questions. And so I think really the breakdown became, we recently had a conversation, and the conversation was about a little less than a week ago. We had a conversation, and the conversation was, you know, hey, right now we're in the off season of the kids' sports. But as I'm starting to get these dates of the tournaments, and I'm starting to get, you know, the dates of practices, and I'm looking at the summer, and the businesses are starting to pick up again, and, you know, all of these different things are happening. What is this going to look like? If we're struggling to, you know, carve out time to spend together, and I have all of these competing demands and stuff now, what is this going to look like, right? Like, what is this going to look like this summer from April through August? What is this going to look like? And so, at first, the language between both of us was, we really want this. We'll work through it. We'll figure it out, etc. Right? That's how the language was on both ends. But then the language started to switch with both of us. And it became, for me, I'm giving all I got, right? Everything that I possibly could give, I'm giving. And, it just don't seem like it's enough. And then on her end, she's like, I recognize it and all of that, but, this is what I want. So I don't know. So I don't know. Let me read some comments. I'm going to go further, but let me read some comments. Deanna said, I think the only way it will grow is that you all move in together. I don't know, right? So Deanna, I think, let me be transparent, best friends. That's a good perspective, right? That's a good perspective, but I don't know. So for me, my concern is, I'm not opposed to that, but I want to tread lightly because, how can I say this? I'll just say it. I just have to say it. I can't think about how stuff is going to make anybody feel. I have to just be able to be transparent and have the conversation. So for me, I think what it is when you talk to somebody who's been divorced and you talk to somebody who's lived with somebody in the past, they go into that very cautiously, right? Whereas somebody who maybe has not had that experience and has not been married, etc., may go into it a lot more optimistic. So by that, what I mean is this: if we're disagreeing and we live in separate households, I'm nervous about moving to the next level until we get to a point where we have a better, solid understanding. Does that make sense? So for me, I'm like, I want to see a more consistent timeline where everything is good between us before I'm able to consider moving to the next level. You know what I mean? So that's kind of like been my thought process. Chantel said, were you really ready? I'm sure you've asked yourself recently. It's a fair question. It is a fair question. It is a fair question. I feel like I was. I will say this, and this is something that I'll say a year from now, 10 years from now, today, even sitting in it. This was necessary. T and I have been back and forth for a while. How we started was rocky. It was very non-traditional, but there was something so strong and is something so strong between the two of us. There still is. I was just texting her like a few minutes ago. So there's something still so strong between us that we had to explore it. We had to, right? There's no moving on with anybody until we figure out what that looks like. And we have to explore it in its entirety. And we never, ever, ever had the ability to be able to do so, obviously, because either I was with somebody, she was with somebody, or, whatever, right? And so with all that being said, it's a situation where there's never going to be a point where I look and be like, I regret, moving in that direction, or I regret dating, I regret getting back together or anything like that. It's never going to be that. It's never going to be that. Because when I say I'm in love with her, I'm in love with her. I'm currently in love with her. Like, this is not a past tense thing. This is not it was what it was. No, I am very much in love with her. So it's something that I had to explore before ever even considering getting with somebody else, because why open another door when there's unresolved, something with her or whatever. You said, Daphne said, I thought you guys lived together. No, T and I have never lived together. Ashley said, I don't think moving in together is the answer. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Dana said it's very challenging with you when you have kids that you need for your management in their lives. Also, being a content creator whom is still growing her platform, demand is your first name, is such a challenge. It is. It is. And let me say this. T has been very supportive of it all. Even though she's not a content creator, I can't count how many times we've been out to dinner or we would be somewhere and she'd be like, make sure you get footage. Make sure you do this. Make sure you do that. You know, so she's always thinking about it, even though she's not comfortable being on camera or constantly being seen and stuff like that. She's still very supportive. She was always very supportive. And if I could be honest, the support grew over time, right? It was one of those things where in the beginning she didn't quite understand it. And so the more she was around me and the more time we spent and the more time I explained different things to her, the more she was like, oh, that makes sense. I get it. Right. So, you know, it's always been a situation where she was supportive of it. But I think it's just a situation where support is one thing, but does this align with my lifestyle and what I want for myself is something completely different, you know? And so one of the conversations that her and I had from the very beginning was, especially when we started to date real heavily, she was just like, you know, if we ever in a relationship, I don't want you to be like Derek Jackson, right? Like, I don't want you to be the cat that's online, you know, putting on this facade and growing a platform like you single, you know, like you out here, you know, and you just living it up. And then, you know, you got me at home and I'm doing all this stuff in the background. And, you know, everybody just think that you just unattached or whatever. She was like, that's not fair. So she was just like, you know, I don't ever have to be seen, but I want it to be known if we're in a relationship that you're in a relationship. So I had no problem with that. But I think the part that she missed or that she didn't quite understand was that's not how social media work, right? Like I can't have a platform where like I don't have a platform like I don't know if you guys know who Gary Vee is. Gary Vee is an entrepreneur that talks about like marketing and business stuff. So everybody know that Gary Vee is married and has kids, but he never shows his wife and kids. That's not my story. I don't talk about something completely unrelated. Our content, for the most part, is about life, love, and business. You see what I'm saying? Or like, that's what we talk about. We talk about life and love. So how am I going to talk about life and love? Y'all know Sean is my ex-wife and we constantly talking about me being in a relationship. So if we talk about me being in a relationship and Sean is my ex-wife, y'all gonna be like, well, who you in a relationship with? Like, it's not, so it's parallel, right? So you can't, so in my case, I'm different than Gary. Andrea said, I love Gary. Gary is great. Yeah, Gary is great, but I'm different than Gary. We in two different lanes. You know, it works for him not to show his family, but it don't really work the same. Exactly. Deanna was like, we too far in. Exactly. And so also, how does it look to say, hey, I got this mystery relationship that nobody knows about, right? But y'all see Sean with me every day. Y'all see the kids with me every day. It's just, it just don't, you know, you don't have to see her often, but I think it does match the brand for you guys to even see the glimpse that you've seen. You see what I'm saying? So I think so, like once she started to understand that part, we were good. But then, you know, like last night we were live. Me and Sean was live and I was in my feelings. I was in my feelings so tough, best friends. My godmother called me today and was like, girl, I know you don't smoke or nothing, but girl, did you take an edible when we left the house yesterday? And I started laughing. I said, no. She said, because I watched last night's video and was like, girl, what is candy on? You know, and so I watched part of last night's video too. And I just was in my feelings. But while we were sitting there live, T and I were texting. Because if you rewatch the live, there were points in time where I was looking down. So I was texting her. We were texting. And I told her, I said, I just told the best friends we broke up. So although for the past month and a half, we've been going back and forth, and there's been a lot of uncertainty. You guys know how relationships are. It's not cut and dry. It's not we together today, tomorrow it's over. there's levels to it. You go back and forth. There's uncertainty. Is it really over? I don't know if it's over, whatever. But I think she kind of knew, like, once we get to the point where we're announcing it to people, it's pretty bad. You see what I'm saying? So when I messaged her back, cause we were texting, and when I messaged her and was like, I just mentioned it to the best friends, I think she was like, dang, you know what I mean? So, but it's a situation where, like, I was hurt. Last night, that lie, I was hurt. I was hurt. Anytime, I'm the person where, I think this is the part that you guys got to understand with me. I'm the person where when I start taking digs, it's a defense mechanism. It's probably a little bit of emotional immaturity, but it's a defense mechanism for me. I just hurt. I'm just hurt. I'm hurt because I didn't have a lot to give. I didn't have a lot to give. I'll be the first to admit that. I have very busy kids. Kennedy and Caleb, between their activities and stuff, Sean and I are running 5-6 days a week. I got to get up and get Kennedy, to practice tomorrow, almost an hour away by 7:00 in the morning. You see what I'm saying? On a Saturday morning. Caleb got practice Sunday morning. So, it is what it is, right? So I'm unapologetic about having busy kids, and that's not a problem for her. But I also have a growing business that requires a lot of my time and a lot of my attention, and me being an entrepreneur is tied to my purpose. I could get a 9-to-5 and I could put my MBA to use and I could, do all of that, but that's not going to make me happy. And I'm not suggesting that she wants that for me. She wants me to follow my passion and do whatever's going to make me happy. But when all things are carved out and you look at the time with the kids, you look at the time with the businesses, you look at all the overlap between Sean and I, as she said, Sean and I built a beautiful life together. We built a beautiful life together around each other. So the tear down of all of that and figuring out what that looks like, that's a long journey. And it's a long journey that's very time intensive, and it's going to require a huge sacrifice for whoever, is going to stand next to you. And so, by the time it was time for me to pour into her, I think, and I'm not trying to speak for her, but I think she felt like she got the short end of the stick, because you got to think, best friends, I got sleep apnea. So by the time I would get to her house, I'm exhausted, right? She would just ask me for something simple like, can we order food and watch a movie? Yeah, but I'm sitting on the couch falling asleep. And then you tap me, and then all I want to do is get in the shower and go to bed. And then I want to sleep in. You know what I mean? Like, you can't build a relationship like that, because I've been pouring all week, right? And so by the time I get to her, my cup is empty or almost empty, right? But then you look at her, and she had her career, but she wasn't pouring into kids. She wasn't pouring into a business. She was pouring into her career, but she still had a lot to give. I was depleted in a lot of ways, So, it's one of those things where, for me, I don't tell you guys this often, but I'm very sensitive. And, I showed up the best way I could. And I showed up for her in a lot of ways. And she was grateful for all of that. She showed up for me in a lot of ways. But it was hard to hear, I need more. I wanted more. You know what I mean? That's been tough to hear, and I've heard a lot over the past month of, I'm in love with you. I want this to work. You're the person I want to be with. I want to have children with you. I want to marry you. But, I want us to go on more dates, or I want this. I need that. And it's like, I'm hearing these things, right? And for me, maybe I'm looking at it wrong, right? I started to feel like, almost like a knock, right? Like every conversation, I started to feel like a knock, right? in my like my ego, my self-confidence, all of that, like I started to, cause I would look and I'd be like, man, I'm doing the best I can. Like, I remember, when you were sick, like I brought you medicine and your favorite candy and, this and that. And I did this and that, you know what I mean? Or like I showed up for you. I took care of you. And again, when I say she's been there for me, like I'm not suggesting that she has not, she's been there for me 100%. But it's one of those things where, when a person tells you, here's what you didn't do, it's the human thing to think through like, well, what about all the things I did do? You know what I mean? And then you be like, well, damn, like, you know what I mean? So for me, you can only hear that so long to the point where you like, okay, well, it sounds like you need something else. You see what I'm saying? It sounds like you need something else. I don't know, because I'm human and I can only give what I can give. Like I pour into a lot of different things. And like she said, my attention is so divided. It is. It's so divided. It is. Right? Because you guys got to think, for instance, right? Normally Sean has the kids. So normally Sean has the kids on the weekend. So for instance, Sean just finished Friends and Fashion Friday. So I told Sean, I said, Kennedy, you normally take Kennedy to practice on Saturday because I take Kennedy to practice on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. I said, but I want you said you needed a break, right? Remember Sean came, we was live a couple of days ago. Sean said she needed a break. So I said, you need a break. And I said, because you need a break and you've been, kind of running with your granny, running with your mom and, all of that kind of stuff. I said, don't worry about taking Kennedy to practice tomorrow. I got you. And then I said, then Caleb got his thing on Sunday. I got you, so like I'm trying to, it's almost like the bottles are spinning. And then when one slow down, I try to run over and, put my hands on that to keep that going. And so it's like one bottle is the businesses, right? One is my relationship with T. One is my relationship with my children. One is, me co-parenting and building a business with Sean. And a lot of people are like, well, you got to stop pouring into Sean. But if I don't pour into Sean, then Sean can't pour into the businesses. If I don't pour into Sean, Sean can't pour into Kennedy and Caleb. You see what I mean? If the mother of my children says, I need a break, I got to figure out how to give her a break. Because if she go down and she gets sick because she done ran herself in the ground from taking care of her obligations, or if it's a situation where, she gets sick, then that's impacting the businesses. You see what I'm saying? I am spread thin, best friends. I'm spread very thin. I'm spread very thin. But I just feel like with everybody across the board, I get I'm constantly being met with what I'm not doing. You know what I mean? And it's hard. It's hard to take. It's hard to take. Even on the days where Sean has the kids, I've noticed Kennedy especially, not necessarily Caleb. Kennedy will be like, well, mommy, why you gotta go? Why you gotta do this? Why you gotta do that on the weekends when I would leave? Not all the time, but let's say out of 4 weekends, because there's 4 weekends in a month. 1 out of 4 weekends, Kennedy will be like, I don't want you to leave. They never do that when it's time for Sean to leave. You see what I'm saying? So then it's that mommy guilt. It's like, okay, well, but this is Sean's time with you guys, And so then it's like, then I feel like there's things in the business that I'm forsaking. It's like, well, I got to do this better. I got to do that better. So then I feel like I'm letting, the business down. Then it's like, then like my family, right? My family, they like, well, we don't see you as much as we used to. We miss you. And then my granny, My granny is in her 80s, right? And she always be like, God willing, I'm praying God keep me around, and we need to spend more time and this, that, and the third. And I'm like, okay, granny, yes, ma'am. I got you. And so like I just feel like everybody is saying more, more, more. I need more, more, more. And I'm like, so for me, I do wish the relationship will work. I do. I love her. I love T. I'm very, very, very sad about the possibility of us not being together. I wish it was something that we could do. I know, she had called Kennedy and Caleb earlier, and, Kennedy is so intuitive. She's so intuitive. Kennedy was like, I know you and mommy don't talk as much. Is everything okay? Are you guys, So Kennedy asked me yesterday. Kennedy was like, did you guys break up? You guys, whatever. And I was like, well, we don't know, whatever. So Kennedy was talking to T. She was just like, I want you guys to stay together, but, I just want you to be in my life and all that kind of stuff. So kids are very intuitive too. And so, girl, even Kennedy was like, can y'all go to couples counseling or whatever? I'm like, girl, if you don't stay in the 10-year-old's place, but it's one of those things where I want the relationship to work, but after losing a parent last year and after losing a 17-year relationship and after making it through all of it, there's sometimes where life will hand you blows and you be like, if I can make it alive out of that, I could get through anything. I love her. I want to be with her. I want it to work, but I also want to be with somebody who values me and appreciates me. I'm not saying that the relationship has to be perfect all the time, but I need somebody who's going to see the effort that I bring and know and understand that I do have a lot of demands, and the demands can't be okay some of the time. The demands got to be okay all of the time, and there is a lot that comes with me. I'm an entrepreneur and I have 2 very, very busy kids. It just is what it is. You see what I'm saying? And she loves the kids. Well, and I can't take that from her at all. She has shown up more for them than I could have ever asked or imagined. Even yesterday, she worked, an hour and a half away and fought through traffic and had been at the office since 6 a.m. and, drove all the way here just to be there for Kennedy because she gave her word and was falling asleep at the table. I mean, just when I say she loves these kids, she loves these kids. But it's one of those situations where I can only give what I have. I'm a human, right? Like, so I don't know. Diamond said, I think you should fight for it. Too soon to give up, my opinion. I understand, best friend. And it's not me. It's not me. And I'm not saying, I feel like she's fighting too. Dana was right. Dana, I always tell you be right, girl. Dana has said yesterday, she said, girl, T came for more than just Kennedy. She came for you too. I do think she loves me, and I do think she do want to be with me. You know what I mean? But it's one of those situations where, I know my love language, my primary love language probably is not words of affirmation, but I'm realizing through this journey how important me being told how much I'm appreciated and valued is, right? And that's the one thing that I would say, if there was like one complaint that I had, that's like my biggest complaint, is I hear more of what I'm not doing well. And what she needs more of than I hear, like, you showed up for me. You doing amazing. You was here for me when I was sick, or you do this, you do that, but I hear more of, I don't get this, or I don't get that, or I need this. I hear that more. And I don't think it's intentional, but, I realize how important it is for a person to hear that, and how too much criticism can be harmful too, right? Like sometimes I feel like, and this is an aha moment for me, sometimes I feel like God will show you yourself through the lens of somebody else. I thought I was being a good partner to Sean over the years, but I realized towards like the last year of our relationship how much you criticizing somebody or telling them what they're not doing for you and what they need to do more of, when you constantly meeting somebody with that energy, how much it could tear somebody down. You see what I mean? So I'm just realizing that. And like sometimes in order for you to get the lesson in life, God's got to show you yourself through the lens of somebody else. You see what I'm saying? So I feel like in my relationship with Sean, I was the person that unknowingly was harming Sean. I wasn't building her up. I was tearing her down and didn't even really know it, just with my words, right? What does the Bible say? They said the tongue can, there's life and death in the power of the tongue. And I believe that, right? And so I feel like, the same person who loves you like you've never been loved before can also tear you down and make you feel smaller than you've ever felt before. You know what I mean? And it's not from name calling. It could just be from constantly being told, yo, I love you. I'm in love with you. You're an amazing human being, but I need you to do this more. Or I need you to do that more, whatever. And you've been working and you've been, pouring as much as you can. And you like, yo, what kind of time we on, man? Like, like I'm not God's gift, but I'm like, there's a lot of women who will want, somebody who come home every day, who's loyal, who's faithful, who's honest, who, shows, like I do the best I can, right? There's a lot of areas that we all can improve in, but at the same time, I feel like I'm a good catch. I know she's a damn good catch, but I feel like I'm a good catch too. So yeah. But there's a lot that comes with it. And it's so interesting because, best friends, thank you, Miss Deborah, for the stars. Thank you very, very much for the stars. And you guys, I'm going to go back through and try to read some comments and get to some questions in a minute. But it's very interesting because sometimes when I'm sitting and I'm processing stuff, I will ask you guys questions, and 99% of the time, it don't have nothing to do with us. It don't have nothing to do with my relationship at all. But every now and then I'll ask you guys a question and it will have something to do with my relationship. If you guys remember, there was a question that I asked. There was a reel that Sean and I posted where I asked the question. I said, would you guys date a content creator? And most of you guys were like, no, right? Let me be very clear. And let me say this publicly. There are so many aspects of myself and my life and how everything is set up that T has been supportive of, that she has accepted, that she's loved me through, that I don't know that I could do the same for any human being. So I'm never finna play in her face and act like she has not had a lot to handle, right? That she hasn't had a lot to walk into. I'm a content creator, but if I wasn't a content creator, I don't know that, hold on, best friends. Okay, she just sent me a picture of Kennedy. I don't know if I wasn't a content creator, I don't know that I could have dated somebody who was, I don't know if the role was reversed. I don't know that I could have handled it. So I'm never going to act like, I was right, she was wrong. It's not that kind of conversation. I'm just saying two things can be true. Two things can be true. I could have showed up and gave my best and poured with everything that I had to pour. And I could have loved her and given her the very best that I had. But because of all of the plates that I have spinning and all of the demands that are on my life and how much my brand and my business and, all of the things that I'm working on, how important all of these things are to me. Maybe it just didn't leave enough room, you know? So I don't know. Best friends. I don't know. Oh man. My legs was walled up on this couch. Now my leg done fell asleep. But what questions do you guys have? Let me see. Let me see if I can go back. Hold on, best friends. Let me see if I can go back to any of your questions or any comments. Yeah, Keita said, put yourself in her shoes. Look at it from there. Yeah. Kimberly said, can you and T meet in the middle on the things that you both need? Y'all sound like Kennedy. That's kind of like what Kennedy was saying. I'm like, baby, I'd like to meet in the middle. Best friends, I want to meet in the middle because I want it to work, right? I want it to work. But one of the things that I can't handle is me giving 100% and constantly still being told it's not enough. It's not enough. It's not enough. It's not enough. Because I don't know the person that's going to continue to show up and give the very best that they have to offer and still be met with that. So, I'm willing to compromise. I'm willing to do whatever it takes, but I can't. That's the one thing, right? That's the one thing. I want you to voice your concerns, but it shouldn't be a different concern or whatever or complaint every week. It shouldn't be. It shouldn't be. If that's the case, you got the wrong person. You see what I'm saying? If that's the case, then you got the wrong person. So, Shonda said, what does she want more of, Candy? I came in late. Primarily, the concern has been quality time. She's like, I know your time is limited, and I'm not saying more time because you got to do what you got to do for the business and you got to do what you got to do for the kids. But I'm saying, so her thing is when we're together, quality time. But I'm like, I mean, what do you want me to do more of? Like, I'm on my phone, but it's tied to business more so than not. You see what I'm saying? I don't have no side conversations with nobody. I'm usually not texting a whole lot. And I'm like, what is it that you like? I don't know. So best friend said, have you communicated your feelings about feeling criticized more than appreciated? I have. I really have. Adrian said you have a full plate. And if it was just a business, that it would be one thing. But you have very active kids. That's hard. I do. I have very, very active kids. I had never got on a plane until I was 18 years old. When I was 18 years old, I was a senior in high school, and the school had 9 choirs, and I sang in like 5 of the 9. And we were going to Florida. We were flying to Florida. We were going to Disney, and my family all came together. All the people that you seen last night came together, and they put their money together and sent me to Florida with the school. That was the first time that I remember being on the plane. Now, my granny said she took me to California, but I was 4 years old, so I don't remember that. Kennedy and Caleb have flown twice. It's not that big of a deal, but they've flown twice. But Kennedy is in a position where her sports has opened doors for her, where just this coming summer, she's going to be pitching in 5 different states at the age of 10. She's also up for a scholarship at the age of 10 for academics. So I said all that to say doors are opening for our children that we didn't even know were possible for us. You see what I'm saying? When Sean and I sit down and we look, we ran so much further than our parents. We ran so much further than our grandparents. But when we look at what God is doing in our children's lives, I will walk away from anybody. Let me be very clear. I will walk away from my mama if it means that Kennedy and Caleb get to realize whatever God has for them. You understand what I'm saying? There's not a human, there's not a cat, not a dog, there's not a man, not a woman. You understand what I'm saying? That can make me slow down that process. And again, she's so supportive of the process, but there's so many parts in my life that are just non-negotiables for me, right? The kids, she's not suggesting that they shouldn't be in sports or anything like that. And so I don't want to put that image out. But because my businesses are still growing, they're very labor intensive, right? We're very much so at the beginning stages with both of them, and we're rebuilding. So it's not even like we have automations and stuff where, there used to be a time where we had people packing orders and stuff for us. We don't have that. So we packing orders, that's a lot of hours. Or like creating content. Some content creators have like a videographer and they have people editing their videos. They have people posting for them. Sean and I do it all. So what to you guys sometimes look like maybe 3 or 4 hours a day is like 16-hour days sometimes. You see what I'm saying? Plus you got to factor in the kids and their activities and stuff too. So that's why I said, if I'm honest, if the shoe was on the other foot, I probably couldn't deal with it. I think, but what hurts for me is I was transparent about it all. But it's kind of like what Darius was saying on his live about a week or two ago. You can be transparent with people, but until they're sitting in the seat, it hit different. It just hit different once you're sitting in the seat. You see what I'm saying? It hit different once you're sitting in the seat. So once you're sitting in that seat, it just hit different. It hit different because everybody's supportive in the beginning, but then when you really unpack and see how little time the person has, best friend said, hello, best friend. I think it's just about Sean. I believe if Sean wasn't involved, she wouldn't be saying anything. Think about it. A lot of people are saying they agree. I don't know. But even if that be true, best friend, it's just us on the phone. Let's be honest. Could we handle it? Because I couldn't. You understand what I'm saying? If the shoe was on the other foot, could we handle it? That's a lot to deal with. I don't know. And I'm not saying anybody right or wrong. I'm just saying, even if I side with y'all, which I don't know. I don't know that I think so. I don't know that I think so because her and Sean are in a good spot. They talked like crazy yesterday. They cordial. Her and Sean are better probably now than ever. So I don't even know that I believe that, but I'm saying let's just play devil's advocate. If the shoe was on the other foot, could you sit in her seat, right? We always talk about everybody sitting in everybody's seat. Could you sit in her seat? I couldn't. Girl, I already know my emotions is I love so hard. I'm jealous. I don't know, girl. That's what I'm saying. Best friend, look, that's what I'm saying. This thing is thick. Thicker than this sweater, girl. It's thicker than this sweater. This thing is thick. I couldn't sit in that seat. So we'll never know. You understand what I'm saying? We'll never know the real. We'll never know. We'll never know if it was about that or not. I couldn't sit in her seat. When I say this is a woman built like no other, this is a woman built like no other. I think a lot of people don't understand how blessed I've been. These two are incredible women. You understand what I'm saying? Incredible women. The way Sean has showed up for me over the years, how T showed up for me, I've been blessed. I've been blessed. Now, I have no idea what the future holds, but T has held me down in a lot of ways. She's been there. She's been there. She's been there. You know, Jasmine said, I just think it's bad timing because your plate is already full. I don't know. I don't know. But, she's not wrong for wanting what she wants. She's 38. She want to be married. She want to have children. And so I don't know. I just don't know if we're being fair to each other, if that makes sense. Because I'm giving it all I got, but I'm where I am, right? For me, when it comes to the businesses, it's important for me because, I have a vision and I remember being a kid. Let me just be transparent. I remember being a kid and I remember certain opportunities coming my way and my mom having to say no because it wasn't in the budget. My biggest fear is to be that stumbling block in my baby's way where they can't pursue their dream because mommy don't have the resources. So you guys got to remember, I told you in moments of redemption about my bout of being homeless. So sometimes when stuff that's unrelated happens to me, my mind goes back to a place of when I was sleeping in my car in college. Or my mind goes back to a place where I woke up on that concrete cement floor in jail. You see what I'm saying? And so I run from the boogeyman that's in the mirror sometimes. And so it keeps me up at night, right? Like to know that I don't have the level of financial comfort that I once had. And so when you have gotten to a point where you worked hard for yourself, and whether it was a trip, whether it was paying off a car, whether it was helping somebody out financially in the family or whatever the case may be, if it was something that came up, I was a person who could just go to the bank and either withdraw the money, wire the money, whatever. I had it. So to go from that point to be financially comfortable and be able to provide for the kids in the short term and the long term, have money up for retirement, have this, have that, have all of these different things. To go from that point to have to rebuild it all again, it's tough. So I'm going to always be running from the boogeyman in the mirror. And in the process of me running from that boogeyman in the mirror that was homeless, that slept in a car, anything that's standing in the way of that or anything that's, whatever. So I think when I hear those words like, I'm not getting enough or I need more or whatever the case may be, it's that internal struggle. It's that internal struggle where I'm like, I could apply this time and energy towards something that's going to appreciate me. What's going to appreciate me? These businesses, this brand, because the more I pour into it, the more it pours into me. See, I'm in a stage where, and maybe this is trauma as I'm talking through it. This is like therapy tonight. Maybe it's trauma, right? Because I poured into my relationship and my marriage with Sean. Sometimes she poured back. I poured into her sometimes. Sometimes she poured back. Sometimes she didn't pour. Sometimes I didn't pour, right? So love and relationships are funny things because we human. But sometimes when you've been hurt, you look at other things like this business is safe. Because every time I bet on me, I win. Because no matter who let me down, I don't let me down. You see what I'm saying? So every time I'm hurt, my go back to is that business. Because I'm always running from the boogeyman in the mirror. You see what I'm saying? That boogeyman in the mirror is lack, poverty, homelessness, feeling like I'm not going to have it, lack of security, financial stability, all those things. That's that boogeyman in the mirror. So when the relationship stuff seems unsettling, I'd be like, okay, let me run back over here where it's safe. Let me run back over here where it's safe. Yeah. Pinky said, please be straight up and honest with her, Candy. If you not want more kids and marriage, tell her. This is what I went through with my ex recently. He led me on with promises and 10 years of nothing. I let it go and am mad. Hell yeah, but I will never get over it. So be honest. I wish he was honest. No, I'm honest, best friend. I'm honest. I want to marry her, and I do want to have more children. I don't mind having more children. You guys know I can't carry kids because it'll be 2 years in June. So a year and a half ago, I had a hysterectomy. Plus, I'm 40, girl. Kenny and Caleb are 10. I'm not carrying anything but groceries. So for me, I'm physically not able or willing to carry, but she is, and she wants to. So the marriage and the kids that's not an issue for me. I want to give that to her. What I'm unwilling to do, and this is probably kind of what made her feel away, what I'm unwilling to do is to go into the stages of preparing for marriage with us arguing the way that we do. We go back and forth, right? A lot. And so for somebody who's been married before, that's a huge red flag, because the last thing you want to do is go into something that's rocky, because you done came out of something that's rocky. You understand what I'm saying? So the last thing you want to do if you done ran out of a burning building is to run into another burning building. You don't want to do that. So because I've been married before, I know that love is not enough. Because I've been married before, I know that when people have papers on you and kids with you, that don't do nothing but magnify all of what the hell y'all had going on before all of that. You understand what I'm saying? And for people who've been married, they'll tell you in the comments, am I lying? Am I lying? If you arguing with somebody and y'all disagreeing, when you move in, it just throws gasoline on that. When you have children with somebody or you marry somebody and y'all arguing, no matter how much y'all love each other, care about each other, have amazing chemistry and amazing sex, that's not enough, girl. All it does is put gasoline on whatever the issue is. And so I'm unwilling to move to the next level until we resolve that foundational stuff. So because I'm the person who putting the brakes on everything, I don't know if that's, whatever, but I'm like, yo, I can't, yeah, best friend said it intensifies the hell out of stuff. Exactly. You be like, hold on, and so because I've lived with somebody, and I've actually lived with two people before. I lived with Nicole, and then I've lived with Sean. Because I've lived with somebody, I already know, when you get to arguing, y'all get to arguing and disagreeing and stuff like that, when you live with somebody, you ain't got nowhere to go. Because when we get to arguing with each other and we get on each other's nerves, me and T get on each other's nerves, either she'll go home, I go home, or, whatever, she might go downstairs or upstairs. I might go downstairs or upstairs, or, whatever the case may be. But when you live with somebody, girl, where the hell you gonna go? Because everybody at home. You understand what I'm saying? Everybody at home. So where you gonna go? And so we so used to having our own property, girl. But if somebody move in with somebody, or if we get a house together or something like that, and we put tenants in our property or whatever the case may be, girl, what you gonna do? Put the tenants out because we into it? So you have to work on that foundational stuff. So then for me, all things else go out the window. You have to work on that foundational stuff. So I'm like, we can't bypass timelines and all that other stuff just because, yeah, I do. I want the kids. I want the marriage and all that. I want everything come with all of that. But I'm not willing to advance to the next level until this foundational stuff is together. You understand what I'm saying? And I'm not saying that she is or isn't, but I'm saying So I don't want it to feel like to her, well, you done already had that. You done already had the marriage and the kids. So, you're not pressed or you don't have no timeline. And I'm not suggesting that I'm not willing to move forward. But if it ain't right, it ain't right. You know what I mean? We got to work on that foundational stuff. So for me, that's what it is for me, best friends. It just, cause I'm telling you, I don't, cause I know a lot of people, right? I have a couple of friends. I have a couple of friends that have been married 2 or 3 times and they my age. Y'all hear it first here. I got one more good marriage in me. How many more marriages Candy got? Everybody say one more. I got one more good marriage in me. If that one more marriage don't work out, I'm done, girl. Well done. Like steak, well done. Like you could stick a fork in me, well done. I'm done. I ain't got but one more marriage in me. Ain't gonna be no 3 marriages. I'm not gonna have no 3 wives. I'm not finna do it. I got one more. I got one more. I ain't got but one more. My mama said she ain't got none. I ain't got but one more marriage in me. I got one more. I got one more marriage in me. Now, I gotta just make sure. You understand what I'm saying? It's almost like the person who done drowned before, girl. You get in that pool, I bet you don't jump off that diving board that second time. Girl, you gonna walk in, you gonna see me in that one piece bathing suit. Girl, you gonna see me with them floaties all over me, girl. You gonna see me with them goggles on. I'm walking down the steps of the pool, girl, real slow, holding on to the railing. Girl, that's how I'm going into this thing, girl. And it's just gonna have to be okay. Because the last time I jumped in, mug, I drowned. You understand what I'm saying? So I just, and it's just gonna have to be okay. Ashley said, Candy, you gotta wake up extremely early. Ashley, I'm boring you. No, I know I gotta wake up early, girl. But yeah, let me see. Hold on. Donna said, if you all are consistently arguing at the beginning of the relationship, it's not good. Why are you all arguing so much? Because you can't bring your past relationship with each other to current. No, it's not that. So a part of us arguing is because we've dated before, right? You guys have to understand that we've dated before. So we quickly move through the honeymoon phase. So it's levels to the game, right? Like I tell people all the time, relationships have levels. It's the honeymoon phase at the beginning when you first dating, and then you start going through what we call the ugly phase. The ugly phase is the disagreements because you guys are trying to not argue, but you guys are trying to iron out if it's going to be a good fit long term. That's the conversations about what you want versus what I want. How you see things versus how I see things. So that's where we are, we're going through the ugly phase, and we've been in this ugly phase for a couple of months, and so that's just it just is. And so I'm a firm believer that a lot of people's relationships end at this phase. It's the ugly phase that you have to go through before you get to engagement, marriage, and so it's during this phase that a lot of people usually end up falling out the boat. So yeah. Yeah. Best friend said maybe he wants you to speed it up. Allison said maybe it's not the best move backwards because you guys broke up for a reason the first time. Well, we broke up the first time. Well, this is our 3rd time dating. The first time was definitely a good reason. If you guys have read Moments of Redemption, then you know what the reason was. The second time, if you read the end of Moments of Redemption, beginning of Moments of Resurrection, you know what that time was. So, Mignon said at this time, at this phase, it's okay to go through therapy or counseling. Yeah. I mean, in order for us to get to the next level, we would have to go through couples counseling because we would have to figure out how to compromise to make it work. Angela said, can I ask why you would go backwards instead of forward? It's not necessarily backwards. We just weren't in a position to really date full out at the time that we dated before. And so because we were both in love with each other, we had a lot of unfinished business. So instead of just dating somebody brand new, if there's somebody that you dated before, to me, it's best and probably the smartest thing to do to explore all of that, to figure out if you guys have unfinished business, if it could work, if it can't work, versus always having that looming thing over your head. Like, could this have been the right person? Right? In the past, there were a lot of times where I was single, she wasn't single. She was single, I wasn't single, etc. Right? So it would be unfair, best friend, for me to then meet somebody brand new. And I'm just going to make up a name. I always use the name Keisha. I don't know why. But let's say I meet Keisha on a dating app. I'm completely single. I meet Keisha on a dating app. Keisha comes into my life. Now, T and I went to college together. We got a lot of mutual friends. If I went to homecoming, I would have probably ran into her at homecoming. Imagine me meeting Keisha on the dating app. Me and Keisha are vibing. We just getting to know each other. Things are going well. I run into T at homecoming. Those warm and fuzzy feelings bubble up. I talk to her. She talks to me. She's single. I'm single. And then now Pandora's box is open because me and my ex have unfinished business. And we've been in each other's lives for years. Well, Keisha will be like, well, girl, why didn't you see that thing full out before you wasted my time? You understand what I'm saying? So, I just am a firm believer that you need to figure out, you need to close all doors before you open a new one, best friend said, Candy, you and Sean need to fix it. Y'all are connected on so many levels. Y'all's chemistry shows out loud. I'm just saying. Ashley said, God said no. Dominique said, oh my God, please stop. Yeah, all I can say is no, right? So if Sean and I are supposed to be together, it'll be obvious to Sean and I. It won't be obvious to everybody else more than it's obvious to us. Sean and I ran our course. And so if it's a situation where we're ever going to be together, it would likely be a situation where our kids are grown, 20, 30 years from now, whatever, I don't know. Right. And this is like a stab in the dark type of situation because Sean and I spent so much of our lives together. I'm 40. I've known Sean for probably over 20 years. And we were together for 17. Respectfully, Sean needs to see what life is like without Candace, and Candace needs to see what life is like without Sean, right? The codependency did not work. The fact that our lives are so intertwined, it did not work romantically. And so in order for her to know and understand who she is and who God created her to be, not attached to my hip and not me attached to her hip, we got to go our separate ways. And so if you read the books and if you've been a part of this journey, you see how we're thriving and growing as individuals since our breakup that we couldn't, for whatever reason, do when we were together. So I know you guys see a lot of chemistry on camera, and I know you guys see like how strong our connection is, but it looks different now. And what you guys are bearing witness to is the friendship that we had when we were best friends. Sean was my best friend before we ever started dating. That's my sorority sister. That literally was my best friend. Sean was a person where when she had a girlfriend and I had a girlfriend, we would be on the phone late at night laughing and talking, and it was very platonic. So what you guys are starting to witness is us going back to that place. And just because you see chemistry with people don't necessarily mean it's romantic in nature. But that's that, right? And then I also have to learn that just because something ain't working don't mean you go back to something else or you jump back into something. I just said at the beginning of this video, I'm in love with T. So how fair is that to Sean to be like, we ain't working, me and T ain't working out, so let me go over here and run back and see what you like. That's not, we dealing with humans with real human emotions. And so I'm sure, best friends, if you have a daughter, you wouldn't want your daughter to be anybody's rebound. And Sean deserves more than that. You see what I'm saying? She deserves more than that. And I deserve more than that. You see what I'm saying? Like, I just, we've done a lot of things wrong. And at some point in time, we have to look in the mirror and stop, right? Like, Sean and I are both guilty of making a lot of mistakes and documenting them and writing about it, right? But at some point, you got to grow up and say, let me figure out where I went wrong and make a different choice. You see what I'm saying? So that's just where we are. That's where we are. Yeah. That's where we are. Yeah. But yeah. Now I appreciate Sean, because she was like, when we was live last night, she was like, girl, stop. I don't know what's going on, but stop. Because whatever's going on with y'all gonna be back together tomorrow, and then you gonna be to put your tail between your legs or whatever the case may be. But I don't know, best friends. I don't know. I like to think that there's something with T and I that we could work out, because I love her very, very much. But I don't know, best friends. You know, I don't know. Whatever's meant is whatever's meant. And I've gotten to the point where, although it hurts, you know what I mean? But I've just released it. So whatever's going to be is whatever's going to be. Patricia said, I'm starting to think my Aries and I are meant to just be best friends. Oh, you dating the Aries, Patricia? Oh. Best friend said, I'm not against going back to an ex. Not all circumstances are created equal. I'm currently married to my ex. Not all breakups are bad ones or toxic. Yeah. Yeah. Yes. But yeah. Mama said, don't stress, give it time. Oh, I will. Yeah. Oh, no, I'm not, Wanda. She said, if it don't fit, don't force it. Teresa said, it's a lot of people on this earth. Explore. Oh, no, I'm not going to explore. I promise y'all, I'm telling you what I would do. And I'm not just saying this. I promise you, if me and T don't work out, I need a break. When I say I need a break, I need a break. I would literally, if me and T don't work out, I would literally, just take, I don't know, I would take several months. And just, be by myself several months, like probably a year, and just be by myself. You know, the summertime is coming up and I just would be by myself. If I could be honest, if this is a safe space, y'all tell me, say safe space. If this is a safe space, I'll tell you about the hardest part for me about being single. I'll tell you about the hardest part. Let me know if you know the hardest part about me being single. That'll be the hardest thing for me, but, you know, Ashley said safe space. Razzie said safe space. Jasmine, what do y'all think the hardest part about me being single would be? The hardest part about me being single? Yeah, Pinky said it. Pinky said it. Yeah. Because hey, listen, we grown. It's late, so all the kids should be in the bed. Dana said meals and sex. But not because that's all a relationship is to me, but you know, that's part of my love language. It's part of my love language. And I think I'm going through like early menopause or something, you know, since having a hysterectomy, man. My sex drive has been off the chain. So, Candace K said, yeah. Yeah, exactly. Razzie. Yeah, it's a way of bonding for me too. So for me, it would be that. It would be that. Dana said that's your love language. It is. That's my love language. That's my love language. And so that would be rough. And ooh, that'd be rough. So yeah, So I don't know. I don't know, best friends. I don't know where this journey is going, but I love that girl. Somebody call her phone and tell her I love her. But I don't know. When I say it hurt to be constantly told, what I'm not doing and how I don't show up and, what she need more of. And it's so crazy because she was just real sick on Sunday, and I was at her house. It was right after, y'all remember that day she had showed up for me. Let me tell you what she did. My asthma was acting up that day. It was Sunday. My asthma was acting up that day. And she met Sean for me to get the kids. Sean took the kids Sunday to church. Y'all remember? And it was really, really cold outside. So my asthma was acting up. T had went to the gym. She got back. Remember, I was live. She went back out, met Sean. She took my truck, went to the car wash to get all the salt and all the snow and everything washed off the truck. Went got the kids from Sean. Came back, cooked, and then she started not to feel well. So she was feeling so sick after we ate. She had like a real bad migraine or something, right? She was feeling so sick after I cleaned up the kitchen and everything. I didn't feel comfortable leaving her there. So me and the kids got her in the car, brought her here, and I took care of her all night. You see what I'm saying? So when I say we show up for each other, I'm never finna play in her face like it's one-sided. But sometimes I feel like what I do gets overlooked or overshadowed. Cause I'm like, yo, I was there for you, and like in the moment she was like, man, I don't know what I would have done if you weren't here or if I was here by myself and all that. You know what I mean? And so like, it's the little things, right? So before we left, I'm like, okay, let me make sure your garbage is out for garbage day. Let me do this. Let me do that. Let me, like I just, like I just try to add value the way that I can. And so in my mind, I'm like, man, to feel like it's not enough or it's enough in the moment, but then there's always more that you need. I don't know. So Dana said she didn't reach out to you today to send you a picture. She saw a million people taking pictures. She reached out to you because she loves you. Yeah. We've been talking a lot. We've been texting today, but I don't know. I don't know, Dana. It's been a lot about, hey, I'm in love with you. I wish we could have worked, but I needed this, I needed that. And it's like, yo, I'm like, okay, we did enough of that in the relationship. I don't want to hear it now. Like, I mean, at this point, if it's over, it's over. You see what I'm saying? Adrian said, get some toys and be stress free. Them toys. Adrian, it don't work the same. It don't work the same. It don't hit the same. I don't know, best friend. So, Beverly says she's telling you it's over. I ain't gotta be told it's over. I'm over here minding my business. But we ain't gotta keep, that's the thing. That's the thing. So I've always had this philosophy, best friends, where I don't argue with people. And I tell everybody this. My family, my friends, my kids. I tell everybody this. I don't argue with people I'm not with. I'm not. What I really mean, that's the clean version. What I really mean is I don't argue with people I'm not. You see what I'm saying? We broke up. If it's a thing where we called it off earlier in the week and we done, be done. But what we don't have to do is keep having a conversation about, well, I'm in love with you. I wanted to marry you. I want to marry you. I want to have kids, but I didn't get this and I didn't get that. And, I wanted more of this and I wanted more of that. We ain't got to do that. If it ain't gonna work, it ain't gonna work. You see what I'm saying? But we ain't got to have the I'm gonna beat you over the head or what you didn't do. You see what I'm saying? Exactly, Ashley. Don't be the dead horse. Don't be the dead horse. If you done, be done. You understand what I'm saying? If you done, be done. So best friend said she may still be grieving. Consider that too. Exactly, Mignon. Exactly. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. So my mom said maybe because she's still grieving, consider that too. Mignon said, but so is Candy. Yep. So best friends, this is what I'm going to tell y'all. Do you remember when Sean and I was going through our breakup? What did I tell y'all? Everybody always coddles and gravitates towards the feminine woman. They forget about the emotions of the masculine woman because we ain't breaking down crying all the time. We ain't falling apart in the floor, all of that, right? Everybody look at T and they like, well, she's grieving. Yes, she did lose both of her parents. And I'm never finna minimize that. I'm grieving too. I just went through hell too. I lost everything. I damn near lost everything. So we both are going through a very rough time. You understand what I'm saying? And so with all that being said, and it don't matter. I'm not saying one is greater than the other. I'm not saying all of that. I concede. I give her the greatest. She lost both of her parents. That's definitely greater. But what I'm saying is both of us in 2023 have been to hell and back. You understand what I'm saying? So with that being said, I can only show up as a potential partner. That's all I could show up as, right? I can't show up and fill more seats than I don't know, right? Because this is what I was telling my cousin about her relationship, because she lost a parent too. So her and her boyfriend or fiance or whatever, they kind of going through, similar stuff, right? So I was telling her, I was telling my cousin, I said, are you expecting too much from him? And she was like, well, what you mean? I said, well, because you lost your parent, right? So I'm not saying you expecting him to replace your father, but sometimes without realizing it, we could put extra burden on, not extra burden, that's the wrong term. We could put extra weight or stress on a person outside of just the role that they play. You see what I'm saying? I don't know. It could be, because sometimes we do that to people and don't even realize it. I don't know. Yeah. Angela said both parties have to be whole, not broken. Just my opinion. I don't know. A part of me agrees with that, but then a part of me says one of the things that we both agree on, T and I could not have gotten through those times in our lives without each other. I was her rock through the beginning of her journey. She was my rock through the beginning of mine. And when we didn't have anybody else, we had each other. It's just interesting that now that the dust has started to settle and our emotions and our feelings got stronger, it's a situation where now that our emotions and our feelings got stronger, now comes the ugly phase, right? The ugly phase. Ashley said, is that trauma bonding? I don't think so. Yeah, I don't know. Best friend said, you can't be a counselor to someone who needs counseling. I ain't counseling nobody, girl. Who am I counseling? Girl, I ain't counseling nobody. I'm sitting on the couch. Don't you see the damn couch? Ma'am, I am sitting on the couch. Girl, ain't that what they do in therapy? They have you sit on the couch and you hold the pillow. You know, only thing I'm missing is the tissue box. Girl, I ain't counseling nobody. Dana said, I think T is not saying what she really feeling. It's the grief, the loneliness, the emptiness. And she's not saying, I'm scared, I'm hurt, I'm lonely. I'm scared, I'm hurt, and I'm lonely too, girl. You know? But Dana, if she would let me in, I would give her the keys to the castle. But what you can't do is beat me down and tell me what I'm not doing in the process. You know what I mean? Because I'm doing the best I can with what I got. You know what I'm saying? Oh, Priscilla said, I'm saying sometimes you can't be there for someone who can't be there for you. Yeah, we can't. Maybe we can't be there for each other, girl. I don't know. Nikki said, I was coming to say the same thing. I don't know if it's trauma bonding. But I will say this, because a lot of people was like, y'all trauma bonding, and a lot of people were saying, I had put Carmex on. You know how I'd be leaving that white line? I hope it ain't doing that. I hate that. But a lot of people were saying it's trauma bonding. But I will say this, why is this? I'm sorry, y'all. This is driving me crazy. I have put Carmex on my lips. But a lot of people were saying that it's trauma bonding. Sorry, y'all. Whatever. But a lot of people were saying it's trauma bonding. But it may be, right? I don't know. At this point, I'm not ruling out nothing. Because if I knew, hell, I wouldn't be sitting on the couch. But I will say this. Regardless of what it is, I don't know. But I would rather go through something with somebody and see how they show up or don't show up than to not know, right? So there's two schools of thoughts. So one school is, y'all had no business even exploring nothing in the beginning because Candy had just got out of something. Candy, was still untangling Charlotte's web with Sean. Her father had just died. She wasn't in no position to do nothing. Tia just lost her parents. She wasn't in no position to do nothing. Y'all had no business being together from the onset. That's one school of thought. The other school of thought is, y'all should have waited and been single and just went through what you went through and then started to try to see, what was there after the fact once y'all was healed. But what's the purpose of dating, best friends? I tell y'all all the time, the purpose of dating is to put people through the process to make sure you weeding out the people who not going to be there for you, for the people who are. The best way to know if somebody from your past is going to be there for you is for them to show up in the middle of your storm and you to see how they show up. Not just that they showed up, but I want to see how you going to show up. This woman showed up and showed out for us in the middle of the storm. I told y'all in the virtual event, and don't say in the comments for the people who was here, I told y'all in the virtual event some of the things in the crux of the storm that T did. Again, unimaginable how she showed up. Unimaginable. So, yeah, best friend, we've been dating like 8 months, something like 8 months or whatever this time. Mignon said, but you only dated her, so who did you weed out? No, I'm just saying, like, it's best to weed out the people who don't show up for you versus the ones who do show up for you. Yeah, I did. I wasn't dating anybody else. I like literally just dated her. But I'm saying I don't have to wonder, how like a lot of people, when they start dating, y'all going miniature golfing, y'all going to the movies, y'all going to dinner and all this other stuff. But then when life starts to life, then you realize that's not really the person for you because, when your loved one gets sick or somebody pass away, you realize emotionally they wasn't going to be by your side and can't handle nothing. Well, our situation was unique. How was it unique? Our situation was unique because hell, me and her had already dated. We had been friends and we had known each other since college. So when life started to life for me and life started to life for her, it wasn't no, I barely know you type of thing. When I found out that, she had experienced all of what she experienced, hell, I was there immediately. Right? When her and I reconnected, I had just learned that, her mother had passed away. And so we had just reconnected. And then I had learned that her father passed away. So when the funerals and everything happened, I was there from beginning to end. When all of this stuff was going on with me, she was there from the moment she found out. That's what I'm saying. Again, I don't have any regrets. Even if tomorrow her and I never talk again, which I don't see to be the case because of her bond being so close to the kids. So she was on the phone with them for like an hour, like basically the whole time that Sean and I was live with SJ. She was on the phone with them. So I don't see a situation where she wouldn't still have a relationship with the kids. But I'm saying, even if something unforeseen happened where her and I never talked again, I still wouldn't change my mind. I wouldn't do it any different. You see what I'm saying? We had to go through this. Whatever the outcome is whatever the outcome is. But we had to go through this. We had to. Only God knows why, right? Maybe it's because her and I are supposed to be friends. Maybe we're supposed to be together. Maybe we're supposed to get married. Maybe we're supposed to have kids. I don't know. But maybe we're supposed to just be friends. I don't know. But her and I have a role in each other's lives. We just need to figure out, what does that role look like? We had to see this through. Exactly, Ashley. We had to go through this to exhaust all options. We had to. We had to. We had to. Best friend said, what's her love language? Quality time is number one. Because that's what I hear about that she not getting enough of. Quality time. She like, I understand. You busy. You do. You got a lot going on. She was like, and I'm not even saying give me more time. I'm saying the time that you give me, let it be quality. The time that you give me, let it be quality. But girl, I don't know. I don't know. But what my love language is physical touch. So I mean, like, the time I give you, I want some touch. You want to watch a movie? Look, we only have a few days a week. Out of them few days a week, you want some quality time and I want some quality touch. you want some quality time. Somebody look at your neighbor and say, neighbor, you want quality time and I want some quality touch. Mignon said, where's your glasses? Over there. You see why I wear them glasses so much? Because my sleep apnea, it creates bags under my eyes. That's what I be trying to cover up all the time, best friends. Dana said, are you related to Mr. Myers? Uh-huh. Of course. That's my brother. From another mother. Absolutely. But remember, best friends, so for me, intimacy or the physical act is it's not just physical in nature. It's not just sex. Sex ain't just sex for me. I'm grown, so at this age I don't do casual sex. I ain't did that since I was in my 20s, maybe early 30s. But I don't do casual sex. To me, it's like validation in a way. You make me feel desired. You make me feel wanted. It's a lot of different emotions that's tied to that, right? You could tell me you love me and I'm the most amazing person in the world, all day. And that sounds amazing, right? You could tell me, oh, babe, you do a great job. And I love how you, take care of this and that around the house. And, you're an awesome mom and this, that, and the third. But, you understand what I'm saying? It seals the deal on all the things you've been saying. So, best friend said, can you give up social media? No, if I give up social media, I'm giving up my business. If I give up social media, I'm giving up entrepreneurship. Because you have to understand, best friends, social media is the level playing field for entrepreneurs. Back in the 80s and the 90s, companies ran radio ads and newspaper ads and did commercials, and they had 6 and 7 figure budgets. Social media leveled the playing field so entrepreneurs could get access to the same people that corporations spent hundreds of thousands of dollars getting access to. If I give up social media, what essentially I'm doing is giving up my dream. That's where resentment comes in there. You understand what I'm saying? That's where resentment comes in. And I tell anybody, and remember we've had the conversation so many times, and I told you guys, going back to the Carmen thing, I pray to God that her relationship with Tay, that her marriage with Tay works out. Because if there ever comes a day where it didn't, the level of sacrifice that she made in order to be in a relationship is going to stare back at her in the mirror. And that's a big pill for anybody to swallow. I would never advise anybody to give up anything, for a relationship. I'm not. Let me make it personal. I'm not. Because the minute the relationship don't work out, then I'm going to want to throw in your face, you kidding me? I gave up X, Y, and Z to be, Plus, then, see, it's different, best friends. If I went out and got a job because business is slow, the economy's down, I'm just getting some money to supplement, income to things turn around. That's different than me saying, I'm going to close my doors and completely change what I do and who I am to go back to corporate America to a 9-to-5, because that's not what breathes life into me. What breathes life into me is creating. I'm an entrepreneur. So to create something in my mind that didn't exist and bring it full circle, it's almost like an artist working with clay. You see what I'm saying? I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a creator. I can create anything. I'm not a handbag designer. I created a whole handbag. You see what I'm saying? I'm not an author, but I sat down and told my story. It started with me, speaking into a recorder and then typing out what I said and then sending it to, Sean to edit and proofread and all of that stuff and cleaning it up, and stuff like that. And then voila, I became a self-published author. All of these things. I'm a creator. I'm just a creator. So if I can't create, then that might be an interruption in what God called me to do. That's dangerous. That's dangerous. You got to make sure that you're not just picking a partner, somebody to be in a relationship with because they make you feel warm and fuzzy or because y'all have good sexual chemistry. The person for me is also my partner in purpose, my purpose partner, right? They have to know and understand that I have to walk in alignment with what God called me to do. Think about the videos that Sean and I have done over the years. And if there was ever a video that touched you or changed you in any way, say that's me. So if I'm on a job, best friends, this is how strong this is. If I'm on a job and I'm working 9-to-5 and I have these kids that have busy schedules, I can't call y'all. I can't call y'all. I can't call y'all. Sean can't call y'all. Because then by the time we work the 9 to 5 and we get Kennedy and Caleb to and from, and we do homework, we feed them, we clean the house, we do all this stuff, and then we get into bed, the day is gone. So when you make the decision, this is why this community and this relationship is so important. When y'all make the decisions to buy something from Sincerity Johnson, handbag, jewelry, glasses, scarf, lip gloss, whatever it is that you buy, when you buy from Sincerity Johnson or you buy from Candy Sincerity Johnson, you know, you go buy the books, you buy coaching sessions, you guys buy my digital products, all of this other stuff. When you do that, then that's also serving us because it's putting us in a position where we can continue to walk in our purpose. You see what I'm saying? You supporting our businesses as entrepreneurs pays the mortgage, the light bill, the gas bill, the phone bill, all of these different things. So I have to be in alignment with the people who know, the person who knows and understands that if you got a problem with something that I do, and I'm not saying that she do because she don't, it's just all of the full picture just don't allow for a lot of time and a lot of quality time, right? So what I'm saying is, if I'm not in alignment with my purpose partner, then I can mess around and make a decision that in the short term will serve, but in the long term cause me more pain. And look at how many people it also impacts. That's a lot. We tell y'all all the time inside of this community, it's bigger than me. This is bigger than me. This is bigger than me. You know? Thank you, Miss Mary. She said, I got the books. I'm waiting on the next one. This is bigger than me. It is. It's bigger than me. This is bigger than Sean. And every time we try to look at a different path, it didn't work out. It didn't work out. I never told y'all this. After I graduated from college, y'all know I worked for State Farm Insurance for years. I worked in so many different positions and got so many promotions with that company before I ended up selling my agencies and retiring on paper, retiring and left the company, right? All my professional experience and all of Sean's professional experience, we have years and years and years of insurance experience. When we decided we weren't going to be together, I told Sean, I said, well, we need to figure out what we're going to do. We can keep the business or we can go back to corporate America. You know, we can kind of figure it out. I said, but we'll let God decide. So what Sean and I did, and I've never told y'all this, we applied for jobs. We still work the business, but we applied for jobs too. Sean had an interview. I had an interview. Sean got notified by companies. I got notified by companies. It was even situations where people that we had worked with in the past was like, oh, you want to come back? Oh my God, it's a no-brainer. We're going to be able to get you in. This is going to happen. That's going to happen, blah, blah, blah. It didn't work out. There was an opportunity that Sean was up for. If she got that job, it was going to require that she traveled something like 240 to 260 days a year out of 365. That means she wouldn't be around for showcases. That means she wasn't going to be able to take care of her granny. And she applied for that job before her mama got sick. She just found out she didn't get it. I said, that's God saying, don't take your foot off the gas. Focus all energy on the business. That's God saying to me too, don't take your foot off the gas. Focus all energy on the business. Every time we try to untangle Charlotte's web when it comes to these businesses, there's something with the hand of God that says, no, you right where I told you to be. Every door that's supposed to open will open. Don't you worry about $1. Don't you worry about an opportunity. Don't you worry about a product. Don't you worry about a service. Don't you worry about anything. You keep pushing a button. You keep documenting the journey. You keep showing the people. You keep being transparent. You do what I tell you to do, and you'll never worry about how you're going to eat. Every time we tried to do something different, it didn't work. It never worked. It never worked. So this is why we always say we feel like our purpose is tied to showing people what the rebuild looked like. You see what I'm saying? If you look at statistics say, best friends, over 50% of all marriages fail. So that's telling us a lot of people's household look real blended. You understand what I'm saying? It's a lot of co-parenting going on in the world. And I'm not saying we got it right, but because y'all see us working in harmony and according to what God has for us, don't mean we're supposed to be together. Maybe we just supposed to document how two grown adults can figure out how to still get it done because we keeping the main thing, which is the kids. Sean and I are both human. I can't count how many days she was just like, girl, I'm tired of depending on you for money. And I'm like, girl, I'm tired of depending on you for money. You see what I'm saying? Girl, I'm tired. You tired. I'm tired. Girl, let's untangle Charlotte's web. It wouldn't work because it wasn't God's plan. But let me tell you what Sincerity Johnson and Candy Sincerity Johnson brands both do. They make it possible for Sean to be there for her granny. They make it possible for Sean to be there for her mama, who been in the hospital for 3 weeks. They make it possible for us to show up for our children. They make it possible for us to pour into you guys. So, girl, one thing I learned through this whole journey is you can't question God. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Hey, Miss Frida. Hey, best friends that's coming on. I don't know, best friends, but all I keep saying is this is bigger than us. This is bigger than us. It is. It is. And I don't know. I don't know. And I think something amazing happened last week. Something amazing happened last week. Last weekend, for those of you guys who's on the live, I can't remember if it was Friday or Saturday, I was at Tea House. Y'all remember we was in her room and I think she was folding clothes or something. She was doing laundry and she was talking in the background and she was talking about, her parents and her grief process and all that. You guys remember that? And she opened up. And after we got off the live, she said, that really wasn't for me. I needed to pour into somebody. And she said, I ended up opening up more than I thought. And I told her, I said, well, yeah, babe. I said, that's what going live does for me. And I know you're private and I know, you kind of cringe every time I share a lot of our business and our story and stuff online. I said, but you got a chance to see firsthand how therapeutic and easy it is. I'm not saying it's therapeutic for her, but it's therapeutic for me. And so I said, sometimes when you just push the button and you just talk, you don't know where the conversation gonna go. And so I think it was necessary for her to do that. And it was very unplanned. Y'all know I can't never get her to come on there and talk. But it was necessary for a few reasons. She was led to do that. And you guys received her so well. But it also allowed her to see my perspective. It allowed her to see my perspective because she's seen how easy it is to just talk, especially when people are giving you positive feedback. Yes, Deanna, she said, I remember people saying she should do a podcast. She been talking about doing a podcast. She been talking about doing a podcast, best friends. Yep, she been talking about doing a podcast. Ashley, on that video, the camera was on me, but she was talking the whole time. We were in her bedroom, and I was kind of leaning on the bed, and yeah, the camera was on me. If I'm able to go back, because we post a lot of content on the page. If I'm able to go back and remember, what I'll do is I'll inbox it to you. I'll send you the live. But yeah, she was just speaking from her heart. And the best friends was asking questions in the comments. And I was answering, I was just reading the comments, and she was just answering the questions. And it made her feel good, because there was a lot of people who were going through their own grief process. But I think it helped because, like I said, it allowed her to see my side of things too, Yeah. And I could see, but like T and I are different in the fact that like she's got a lot of friends, people that she's been close to from school, from like elementary school, high school, through college, and whatever. So she's got a big social life outside of social media. And I'm the opposite. Like, my social life is with y'all, and outside of y'all, it's family. It's very much so family. I do have some friends, but I keep my circle real tight and real small, because outside of the kids and the family and stuff, I don't really have a lot of time to pour into nobody else. And friendships require a lot of work, girl. They be like romantic relationships just without the sex. I don't have that kind of time, so her and I are different in that regard. Different is okay. Different is cool, but we just different in that regard, But I'm going to open it up for questions. If anybody has any questions, I'll answer your questions. I've been talking. I don't even know what time it is or how long I've been going. But if you guys have any questions, definitely put your questions in the comments. I appreciate all of the feedback that you guys have been giving, your positive, energy around this topic. I know it's sensitive, and I know everybody probably won't agree, but I definitely, Patricia said it's 11:37 Central Time or Eastern Time. Ooh, geez. 11:37 Chicago time or Eastern time. Yeah. Ashley said, I think we need a true definition of trauma bonding. Vicky said, are we still are we still with the friends with the lady that was a minister? Who was the lady that was a minister? Who was the lady that was a minister? I don't know a minister. Well, I mean, I know a lot of female ministers, but I don't know who's a minister that y'all know. I don't know. I can't think of no ministers that I've had on here. I mean, I'm friends with ministers, with females that are ministers, but I can't think of nobody who I had on here though that y'all would know. Vicky said you went away one time. I think it was for a long weekend, and you were with a friend. I thought she was a minister. Maybe she wasn't, but you all had a good time praying with each other. Oh, no, not really. Not really. Not really, best friend. Not really. Nothing happened. Debbie said Pastor Gloria. I don't know who Gloria is. I don't know a Gloria. Your friend from Texas. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. No. No. Yeah. Yeah. Any other questions, best friends? Any other questions? Yeah. Any other questions? Yeah, I don't know. Frida said, so my question is, what's your struggle right now? My struggle is I think I'm trying to figure out how to navigate my relationship with T, you know? Because we both keep coming back to the same point where we in love with each other. We want it to work, but so I don't know. So if I had a struggle, that would be my struggle. That's it. That's the only struggle I'm having. I'll probably say I'm good with everything else. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Frida said, but what? But what? I don't that's not a full question. Um Jasmine said, so how much more time does she want if she says she understands you don't have the time? So she said, because I asked her that. I was like, well, girl, I ain't got no more time. God only gave us 24 hours. What you want me to do? So it's not that she wants more time. She just wants it to be better quality. Right. I'm on my phone a lot. I'm multitasking a lot. So she's just saying, like, when we do have time together, let me be all in, not just when we, you know what I mean, or sleep. So, Piggy said, have you ever dated a guy? I have. I have dated men before. Frida said, what's your struggle with T? Yeah, just trying to figure out what our role is in each other's lives. Just trying to figure out if there's a path back for us to be able to work through our differences and figure it out, or figure out if it's a situation where we just supposed to be friends. So that's it. If I had a struggle with her, that's it. Um, yeah. Jasmine said, oh, okay, so not calling us when you with her. No, it's not just that. So Jasmine, you got to remember, like, so think about how many reels and videos and pictures and stuff that Sean and I post. Sean, like most content creators, have other people who respond to their comments. We respond to our own comments. So not only are we posting, even when I'm not live, I'm usually the post person in the comments responding. Sometimes Sean will respond to comments, but it's usually me. And I'm doing it because if I'm with T, Sean's with the kids, and she's usually running errands and stuff with the kids. So I'm glued to my phone constantly. So even if I'm not like calling you guys or doing a video or something like that, I'm constantly in the comments. And people go back through the lives commenting. People are commenting on reels. People are commenting on pictures. So like literally notifications are coming in every second almost. Like when you're building a community, it's a lot of work. And you guys got to remember, we're on multiple platforms and we're just trying to expand our footprint everywhere. So I'm constantly glued to my phone, you know. Once we're bigger, maybe we'll have somebody handling that, but we're not there yet. It's very grassroots. It's just the two of us. It's me and Sean doing everything. And so, you feel it, you experience it. So if you in a relationship with me, you see. So yeah. So best friend said, what about no best friends when y'all together? But we can be together Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I don't know if that's realistic. Because then that's slowing down a lot of stuff as it relates to the business. I don't know. Let me see. Um so Frida said, okay, she said, okay, How do you see you and T, and how do you see you and Sean? How do you want all the dynamics to play out, including the kids? Yesterday was perfect. The only thing that was not perfect about yesterday was that T and I were at odds. Everybody in the room got along well. The two ladies got along perfectly fine. The kids felt perfectly comfortable. My family was comfortable. The elephant in the room, and the crazy thing about it is my mom is in the comments. She may still be in the comments. I'm not sure if she is or isn't. Nobody even knew that was in the room that T and I were at odds until now. You see what I'm saying? So it's a situation where so the only two people who are standing in our way is the two people in the relationship. It's T and I. It's not social media. It's not, my dynamic with Sean. It's not like T and I's biggest problem is T and I. It's the two of us. It's her and I. That's it. So I don't know. It's just figuring out what that looks like. Once we know exactly what direction we're running in, whether it's romantic or friends, we just need to hit the gas and go for what we know, but right now that's the biggest thing. Pinky said, so what made you turn to women? Was it the games that men play? I'm just curious. If you don't want to answer, that's fine. No, that's an easy question. I've been attracted to women since I was a little girl. My first girlfriend, believe it or not, was in high school when I was 15 years old. So I've literally dated women since I was 15 years old. I dated guys too up until essentially me and Sean. But yeah, so I never, it was a situation where all of my long-term relationships have been with women, but I have dated guys as well. And there was one gentleman that I dated that, we were pretty serious. So, he wanted to move in together and get married and all that and, do that thing. And I was just like, oh, player, you moving too fast. Because in my mind, I just felt like I was going to disappoint him. And I just wanted to be fair and transparent with him. And so I broke it off. But yeah, yep, I have dated guys. I'm very attracted to men. In all aspects, but I've not been with a man in the better part of 15 years. Do the math. Yeah. Let me see. I may have missed some questions, but Darnice said, are you able to set a time frame to be glued to your phone, then be all in with T? I don't know. We will have to talk to figure out if there's a level of compromise that can be made. But my fear is because every single week or every time I work on one area, instead of me getting, okay, babe, you're doing great. I see how, you've been doing X, Y, and Z more. Then it's almost like the bouncing ball moves. Then it becomes about something else. And it's like, I asked her, I was like, are you looking for perfection? Like, what are you looking for? And she's like, no, I'm not looking for perfection. I'm looking for somebody who's going to show up as much as I show up. And I'm like, okay, so it's one of those things where if I could be transparent, I just don't feel like my best is enough. It's never enough. Enough is never enough with her, and I don't know. So Sandra said, would you both be satisfied with just friendship? Well, I'm in love with her. So if she started dating, we would have to have boundaries inside of the friendship. You know what I mean? I don't want to hear that. And I'm not saying that she would tomorrow. You see what I'm saying? But because my feelings are so deep for her, I don't know. Like that friendship, I guess I could be, okay with it. You know what I mean? But I don't know. Frida said, you need clarity by yourself. No matter what matters of the heart, heal first. I mean, none of us are completely healed, but sometimes it's just timing again. I don't know. Best friend said 15 years. Beverly said, are you more attracted to women? Physically, yes. Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of things about women that I'm more attracted to, and then there's some things about men that I'm more attracted to. I'm more comfortable with women. I will say that. I'm definitely much more comfortable with women. I mean, it's been so long since I've been with a man. I think it'd be very awkward for me. But yeah, so I'm much more comfortable with the women. Yep. Any other questions, best friends? Any other questions? Any other questions? You guys are asking good questions. Me and my little winter hat. I'll be doing the best I can to cover up my little braids. My mama said, I had no clue. You had no clue about what, mama? Mama, you knew that I dated guys. You know that I dated guys. I mean, you remember when Curtis used to come over there? You remember when Twin used to come over there? You remember? You know I dated. You knew I dated guys, but yeah, I've literally dated women since I was 15. Yeah, I had my first girlfriend when I was 15. Pinky said this was a good session. Thank you for being honest. You welcome, love. You welcome, best friend. Lori said, Candy, you look like your granny. Which one? My dad's mom or my mom's mom? Oh, mama said about you and T yesterday. Oh, got it. Got it. Yeah. Let me see. Donna said, if you are all consistently arguing at the beginning of the relationship, it's not good. Why are you all arguing so much? Because you can't bring up the past relationship. So so let me be transparent. And I'm sure y'all have already picked up on it. I'm not easy to date. I'm not easy to be in a relationship with. My philosophy, right, wrong, or indifferent, is that to whom much is given, much is required. I give a lot in relationships. I give a lot, right? Most of it T has experience, but some of it she hasn't. The part that she hasn't experienced is like how much of a provider I am, right? The reason why I said she hasn't experienced that level with me is because, we have two different households and stuff like that. But I require a lot in a relationship. So with that being said, one of the reasons why we disagree so much is because T and I are a lot alike. T is a Leo and I'm an Aries. We're both fire signs. So if somebody say something slick to me, my comeback is more slick than what they said. So we're a lot alike, which in some regards is good, but in some regards is not good. You see what I'm saying? And so she don't take my shit, which is why a lot of people was like, I see you kind of being submissive with her, but it causes us to go back and forth. Sean took a lot of my shit and we see where that got us. You see what I'm saying? So I'm not suggesting that one is right and one is wrong because they're both bad. To argue with anybody is horrible, and to just not say anything and to go with the flow even when you don't want to is also bad. You understand what I'm saying? So I'm recognizing and I'm becoming self-aware of the fact that I'm hard to date. But to whom much is given, much is required. I'm going to love you like you've never been loved before. Period. But you got to give me a safe space. And the more you show me that you appreciate me pouring, the more I'll pour. And I'll pour until I don't have anything left to pour. You see what I'm saying? But if you make me feel like my pouring is in vain or you don't appreciate my pouring, then I'll throttle back. So Miss Beverly said you both are controllers. We both are controllers. T likes to control and I like to control. But You know, there can only really be one leader. You know what I mean? So I don't know. Susan said T is not ready for you. She is young and inexperienced on adult relationships. I wouldn't say that. I mean, I don't know. Razzie said 2 fire signs. I'm a Leo and I dated an Aries before. Our vibe was great together, but when we bump heads, ooh, child, it got deep. That's us. Mm-hmm. 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 Yep. 2 dominant signs. Exactly. Exactly. We're very dominant signs. We're very dominant signs. Frida said, date yourself and like you are not being changed. Yeah. So I'm at peace regardless of what the outcome is. And I think I'm different. I'm different than I was ever before in my life. You know, before I couldn't see past the situation, whatever the situation was. When I was with Sean, I couldn't see life without Sean. When I was with Nicole, I couldn't see life without Nicole. You know what I mean? But in this situation, when you've gone through so much in your life, like I said, losing my dad, you know, everything falling apart, like you just, and T kind of has the same approach. When you done been through hell and back, you look at situations like, I'm going to just control what I can control. And then, you know, whatever else, I'm just going to relinquish. You know, I want it to work, but I've been through so much. I'm not going to lose my mind if it don't. You see what I'm saying? I want it to work. Make no mistake about it. I want it to work. I love her. You know, she loved me. I'm sure she wanted to work. But at the end of the day, ain't nobody going to crack up and lose their mind if it don't. You know, you might cry a little bit. You might you be in your feelings. You're going to dust yourself off and you're going to keep it moving. That's life. You know, that is life. So, you know, it is what it is, because I mean, at the end of the day, when you wake up, hey, she still got a career to pursue. She still got, you know, all of her hopes and dreams ahead of her. I still got businesses to run, kids to raise, etc. So either it's going to be or it's not going to be. And I know that sounds crazy, but it's just both of our reality. You know, I'll try and I'll put my best foot forward, but I won't do anything to the detriment of myself. It's interesting because herein lies the teacher having to walk the walk and talk the talk. It's easy when we talking about contextual stuff or we giving advice to a best friend who is writing in for advice, but you guys are literally seeing me having to apply what I talk about. Sometimes it's easy and sometimes it's not. But, you know, you just have to be at peace with stuff. And the stuff that I used to stress about before, it don't do nothing but add more bags up under your eyes, more gray hair, you know, more weight, all of that. I had a horrible week. And I can't blame nobody for my week but me. I ate bad. I probably packed on, I don't know how many pounds that I had worked hard to try to lose. I ain't been on nobody's treadmill. I ain't been drinking enough water. Like, I just had a horrible week. And it's on me. I can't blame nobody else. I bet you T was at the gym. I know Sean been working out. I can't blame nobody but me. But I get emotionally, you know, caught in these traps where, you know, whatever, I consume it different. And so, you know, it just is what it is, you know, but I just, whatever it looks like is whatever it looks like. This is the page where you've seen a shift. So Sean and I are not about creating content anymore. We just document our journey. This is just us documenting our journey. We're not trying to create videos. We're not trying to create content. You're not going to see no skit over here. We ain't got time for that. We're just going to push the button and just document our journey. So it's either going to be my journey to, you know, rebuild with T, or it's going to be my journey to rebuild with myself. Either way is fine. It's not going to be another random chick where I'm like, girl, I was at the grocery store. I met Keisha. Y'all going to see me take 9 to 12 months. If me and T don't work out, y'all going to see me take 9 to 12 months to double down on this business, double down on these kids and get myself together. And then, Then it might change to, me working on myself and stuff and, preparing for something else. But Ashley said, you and this Keisha, I don't know what made me pick that name. I just picked it and stuck with it. But yeah, I don't see that anybody else has any other questions. Do you guys have any other questions? Yeah. Yeah, but everybody's saying love yourself first, take care of yourself first. I mean, that's a given. That's a given. Which is why I don't have much time left, when all plates are spinning, right? When all plates are spinning, that's why it's not a lot of time left, you know? So, yep. Sandra said, do you feel like you got some clarity tonight? A little bit. I might watch the replay. Not tonight, but I might watch the replay tomorrow. Susan said, T don't want to be seen. She just not a social media person. She's not even on Facebook no more. She was, but she's not even on Facebook. She's just not a social media person. So, and then when she wasn't like following content creators really. It was like more like, oh, let me connect with my cousins or my, friends or what, like she's not a social media person. So it's just not her thing. Pinky said it's okay to be alone. Some people are alone even in a relationship. Yeah, I'm not gonna be alone in a relationship. If I'm gonna be alone, I'm gonna be alone for real. So, but yeah, this season may just be for me. This season, I have said that before. This season might be personal, and that's fine. I'm fine. When I say I'm totally fine with whatever God has for me, I'm fine with whatever it is. I'm so okay with it. I'm okay with it. Yeah. Miss Frida said, clearly you say it's a given, but you're not taking. Take it in. Do what's necessary. Snuggling, loving, and other ish is nice, but you need clarity beyond that. I don't know why you feel like I don't have clarity. I mean, it's one of those things where, T and I are in a season where it's uncertainty, right? There's a lot of times when you're in a romantic relationship and there's not certainty there, and so there's a process. Usually for most people, breaking up or getting together, it's a process, it's a journey. So, we just figuring out what that process and what that journey looks like. It may be over, it may not be over, because if it was over, why were we texting back and forth all half of the day, you know what I mean, or whatever? And same thing with last night. She was over here for hours with Kennedy, and then we text until I literally fell asleep last night. So you know what I mean. So I don't know. It's a journey. It is what it is. But Beverly said, "Don't get too comfortable without a mate. You become comfortable without." Yeah, I need if we don't work out, if T and I don't work out, I need a season where I'm not dating. I've been in relationships since I was 15. I ain't been single since I was 15 years old. I've been talking to somebody or dating somebody since I was 15 years old. That's a lot. That's a lot. So, to just, have some time to just be, for 9 to 12 months is not a bad thing. Thank you, Miss Susan. She said you are such a beautiful woman, and smart as hell. Thank you. Thank you. Darnese said, do you think that you and T are seasonal and you needed to be there for each other the time that you did? I'm not sure. I would hope we're not seasonal. I would hope we're not seasonal. We need to get to the point where one of the things that we both said was if we can't make the relationship work, we got to make the friendship work because her relationship with the kids is so strong. Plus, we're very pivotal in each other's lives. So when we're not in each other's lives, it's a void. So if it's not supposed to be romantic, we gotta get to the point where the friendship is strong so that we don't have to keep doing this in and out the rope type of thing. Exactly. Dana said, just like everything else, your journey will show itself. Susan said, I've read your books twice. It seems that when you talk, I'm in your body. I relate to you when through a lot and learned a lot. Yeah, I did go through a lot and I learned a lot. I went through a lot. And Miss Susan is so crazy because my mom is in the comments and it was me writing my books that she and my family learned a lot. And it's so crazy because although I'm a content creator, I'm extremely private. And the people who know me very well and have known me all my life and for years, I went through certain things and I struggled with certain things and people didn't know. People didn't know. I'm very private. I tell it and I talk when I'm ready to tell it and talk. You know what I mean? Because the thing about your story is other people can try to tell it, but they're going to tell it wrong. And that's a pet peeve of mine. So I'm the person where I'm like, if I'm going to tell it, you're going to hear it from my mouth. That way you got all the facts and it's right. So, yeah. Danielle said you have to heal from one relationship before entering one. Sometimes you need that time to love and learn yourself over again, my opinion. Agreed. But sometimes life will happen and, I don't think that God makes any mistakes or that, anything happens by happenstance. I think we came back into each other's lives at the right time. I think it was a void there for both of us, or we both needed whatever it was, right? And I just think that whether it was for a season or whether it was for a lifetime, it was necessary. And so, like I said before, I'm not ever going to suggest that it wasn't what needed to happen because there's so many lessons that I learned over the past 8 months. You know what I mean? Like, this is a woman that I've been in love with for years. This is a woman who's been in love with me for years. We've been friends and known each other for, years upon years. So, it just is what it is. This ain't somebody I met on a date nap, so because we had all this unfinished business, there's never going to be any regrets for any time we dated. It's interesting because I know a lot of people be like, you and Sean should get back together. Hell, me and Sean dated 3 times. You see what I'm saying? Like, so if Sean and I ever got back together, girl, that would be the 4th time. Like, how many more times? So it's interesting because a lot of people be like, you shouldn't go back to an ex. But then them be the same people that be like, you and Sean should give it another try. It's like, okay, well, we double talking. we double talking. Which one is it? You see what I'm saying? So now I just think that either T and I need to figure out what compromise look like, or I just need to be by myself. And I'm not pressed with either one. You see what I'm saying? It's going to reveal itself. Like Dana said, it ain't nothing I gotta stress over. It ain't nothing I gotta, whatever. It's just gonna reveal itself. And however it reveals itself is how it's gonna reveal itself. Love you, mommy. Mommy, you said you off. I know you off this weekend because soon as Kennedy get out of practice, either me or Sean, probably me, we're gonna drop the kids off to you guys for the weekend. So don't forget. Yeah, but anybody else got any questions before I let you guys go? I think that's probably all the questions that you have. I feel like I answered them all. If I didn't get to them all, then you guys can definitely let me know if I missed anything. But you guys can definitely let me know if I did. Trying to think. Anything else? I got this fan. I'm in this heater on over here. I'm downstairs in the basement. It is it was so cold down here. I went upstairs and got this sweater. But now that I've been down here and I got this heater running, I'm like, man, let me turn this heater off and go upstairs. I'm gonna get in the shower and get in the bed. Sandra said, I believe it will really just fall on you both of you one day. What should go on? You mean me and T? Susan says, sometimes that happens. Being in love don't have to mean that you will be together. It happens, dear. Razzie said, I'm rooting for y'all. Thank you very much, best friend. Yeah. Yeah, I appreciate everybody's perspective, for and against, it's value in all of it. You know what I mean? I'm gonna continue to grow, whether it's me growing by myself or me growing, inside of a relationship. It don't matter. I'm gonna continue doing the work. So that's a given. You can never stop growing. You can never stop growing, because anything that's not growing is dying. So, hey, Taretha. She said, I guess I missed the past 6 months. Oh, where you been? Hopefully you've been doing good. Pinky says, sending prayers. Thank you, baby. Thank you, best friend. I definitely appreciate it. I just appreciate how much you guys love and support both Sean and I and the kids, Because I seen them in their glory. They were in their glory yesterday. They had me, they had Sean, they had C, the family. They was just running around hugging everybody, hugging and kissing on everybody. And so I don't know, man. I don't want that to end. Susan said, write another book. I got to live it first, best friend. We living it first. We living it. I don't know what the next book is going to be about. You don't know until you just live life. And then God will give you different seasons and those become the chapters, I had no idea Moments of Resurrection was going to happen. But baby, let me tell you, that book wrote itself. You hear me? That book wrote itself. When I say I just, Lord. Miss Brenda said, I love your smile. Thank you very, very much. Thank you very, very much. My family had me in braces for years. Miss Taretha said, you need to do a movie. Oh, best friend, I don't know. Y'all know the whole story, but y'all need some low budget Tubi. Is it Tubi or Tubi? What's that channel or that app or whatever people be on? Y'all need some low budget actors. Deborah said last night was awesome. I was talking crazy on the live late last night, acting silly. Yeah. Tubi. Okay, Tubi. Okay. Y'all know Tubi. T be watching all that TV. She got all them doggone apps on her TV. She be like, baby, let's watch a movie. And we be watching a movie. And I be like, girl, who is these people? And where they go to acting school? You know what I mean? I be like, girl, who is these people when they go to acting school? Them acting skills be horrible. I be like, Lord. But it be real low budget. I be like, the people forgetting their lines. They just going all off script. Wanda said, I just love to hear you talk. You love to hear me ramble? Because that's what I be doing. I just push this button and just started talking. Tubia. Y'all know I be calling it Tubia, Tubby. So, yeah. But y'all, I don't know. Should I call her and ask her, can we compromise? Should I just let her reach out to me? Should I not say anything? How should I play it, y'all? Because my last text message was, I feel like you don't appreciate me. All you do is, just tell me what I'm not doing, and it hurt my feelings and this, that, and the third. And, I kind of ended it with that, and then I came live. But do you guys think I should reach out to her and like, what do y'all think I should do? Or do you think I should just not say nothing? What do y'all think? Ashley said, ask God to guide you on your steps, whatever your heart feels. Yeah, sleep on it. Mm-hmm. Sarita said, what did God tell you to do? That's a good question. I'm about to get in my prayer closet. For those of you who know, my prayer closet is my shower. Dana said, did she respond to that message? She sent this picture of Kennedy. Now her and Kennedy was on the phone. Like Sean was live on SJ for probably about 2 hours. The reason why I wasn't in the comments while I was down here on SJ when Sean did the Friends in Fashion Friday, the reason I wasn't in the comments was because Kennedy had my phone. Her and Kayla was on the phone with T upstairs the whole time. So I don't know if T sending me the picture of Kennedy with her sister's dog was for me or was from her to show Kennedy, right? Because sometimes they be in the middle of a conversation or something like that, and she'll be like, hey, when Kennedy wake up, I know Kennedy in the bed. When she wake up, show her this or show Caleb that or whatever the case may be. So I don't know. Yeah. So I don't know. I don't know if she like typed a full response, but I seen the picture pop up when I first went live. So Beverly said maybe you need some time to think. Jasmine said you need to talk for sure, but maybe a little space first. Razzie said you can't stop the inevitable. What's meant will happen. Sleep on it. What happens in the AM. See what happens in the AM. Susan said, do what you're doing. When you feel away, it's something to be said about that. It's a sign. Danielle said, clear your heart so you feel better and let God do the rest. You have to release your feelings to feel better. Miss Alice said you have told her what you are feeling. Maybe you should allow this evening to respond. Holy Spirit will guide you in your next step and move. Let her process what you sent. Wait for her response. While you do that, ask God. Yeah, we'll do. I'll definitely pray about it. You guys are right. Well, I'm going to let you guys go. I've been on here for a very long time. I got the low battery signal. I'm about to turn everything off down here. Go upstairs. I'm going to shower. Which means get in my prayer closet. And then I'm going to journal. Yep, I'm going to journal. I have some things I need to just purge and write out. But I appreciate you guys loving on me, listening to me, fellowshipping with me, being the amazing best friends that you have always been. I greatly appreciate each and every one of you guys. And know that we don't just say this, we really mean it. The absolute best is yet to come. But baby, I got some praying to do. Good night.